everyone, and welcome back to Jeff and Joe's Puerto Rican Kitchen, where we show you how to make easy, authentic Puerto Rican recipes. This is our first video back after our 14-day quarantine series. Now, if you haven't seen it already, you guys should go back and watch it. But after that marathon of videos, it seems like forever since we've seen you guys, so I'm super excited to be back in the kitchen. And today, we're gonna be making roasted garlic short ribs. This recipe is awesome, and there's a funny story behind it. Now, if you've seen our intro, you've probably seen this shot of a bunch of short ribs lined up on a platter getting ready to be roasted. Now, when I was shooting the intro, I had just gone out and I just bought a ton of things and I was like, oh, just lots of ideas. And I saw the short ribs and I was like, oh, those look awesome. And I kind of like recalled this recipe that I'd seen before and was like, oh, maybe I'll give that a shot and we'll just do it. So I made it, it was awesome. Then I just didn't really think about it again. But some of you guys have been commenting on our videos asking about that and saying like, oh, how do you make that? And so I was like, oh man. So I went back, I looked at my notes, I tried to put it back together and like recreate it. And so that's what we're gonna do today. It's a great recipe. You capture all of that great umami flavor from the roasted garlic, and then we're gonna braise the short ribs for a long time so they're super tender. It's a great recipe for when you have plenty of time at home like we do now. So let's get cooking.
Puerto Rican. Yo te la traigo de Cupey, de Vega Baja y de Santurce, de todas partes de Puerto Rico.
So here are our ingredients for today. First, we got our short rib. Now, when you're going to look for short rib, you want to look for a good mixture of kind of the meat, which is the red part, and the fat and collagen, which is the white part. So you want to find one that has like kind of a lot that are mixed together. That's called being marbled. And the idea there is that the white stuff is what's going to cook down and make a kind of sauce, and it's going to make this stuff really, really tender on the inside. If you have something that's just all red, you'll have a lot of meat, but it'll be really tough because the juices from inside won't have melted down and kind of moistened the meat. So short rib, you're looking for a good mixture of white and red called marbleizing. I've gotten 4 pieces here. We're still under quarantine, so I don't really have anyone to share it with. This is a good amount for 2 people, 2 hungry people. You might get away with 4 people, but I think they might be a little hungry afterwards. If you get your butcher to cut them, you can have them cut them to whatever size you want. Just ask them to do that. Then we got garlic. We got two things of garlic. We have garlic that I've peeled. Just peeled whole cloves of garlic. That's what we're gonna smash and use to kind of rub the meat with. And then I've also got some garlic cloves that I've left with the skin on. These we're gonna add into kind of the roasting pan just so that they roast and bake and kind of get really yummy. But we want to keep them that way so that we can kind of like squeeze out the juices later and then use it for the sauce. I also think the skins really provide a lot of depth of flavor, so I think they're good to add on. Then we got some canola oil, just a little bit of oil. There's plenty of fat in the meat. We just need the oil to kind of put the garlic in so it sticks to the meat. Then we got some adobo, just regular old adobo, and then we got some dried oregano. This is dried oregano from a friend of ours who has an awesome garden, and she just gave me a bunch of dried oregano right out of the garden. So really fresh, really great. It's gonna be awesome. So let's get cooking.
First thing we need to do is season our beef before we get it into the oven. Now, as the name of this dish suggests, you're gonna need a lot of garlic. So start by breaking down your peeled garlic. Here, I'm using a garlic press to crush the garlic right into our canola oil. If you wanted to use a knife and mince your garlic, that would work fine as well. I like the garlic press because it quickly reduces your garlic into a paste that you can use to coat your meat. Additionally, I think the crushing releases more garlicky flavors than chopping it, but honestly that's pure speculation. Once you've crushed your garlic into your canola oil, just give it a quick stir to make sure it's all combined. Again, the reason for mixing the garlic with a little oil is to help it stick better to the meat's surface. Now with our garlic prepared, back to our meat. Start by coating your ribs with adobo. Make sure to turn the ribs as you go so you coat all sides. It may seem like a lot of adobo as you are applying it, but trust me, you want to add plenty of seasoning at this stage. As you slowly cook the ribs, they're going to release a lot of fat and juices that will wash away your adobo, so if you don't add enough now, you'll end up with bland ribs. Once you've added your adobo, slather on your garlic mixture, again, making sure to coat all sides of the ribs. Once you've added your garlic, sprinkle on your oregano and then add your unpeeled garlic. This second tranche of garlic is there primarily for the sauce we're going to put together later, so don't fret about where you place the pieces of garlic. Now with your meat all seasoned, let's get it into the oven. Arrange it in the center of a baking tray and then cover it tightly with aluminum foil. This part is key, so make sure to take the time to do it right. You want to trap all of the liquids inside of the tray, so you need to make sure you seal all of the edges. Use as much aluminum foil as you need. Once your meat is wrapped, turn your oven on to 250 degrees Fahrenheit and bake your ribs in the oven for 2.5 hours. This long bake time ensures your meat is super tender, and the low temperature ensures that nothing burns. After the 2.5 hours, pull out your ribs and remove the foil. You should see that your ribs have softened substantially without burning, and there should be a fair amount of liquid in the bottom of your tray. We want to save all of this liquid before we turn up the heat on our ribs, so quickly transfer your ribs to a clean plate and then drain all of the cooking liquids into a bowl. Then put your ribs back on the tray and put them back in the oven for another 45 minutes, this time at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Now back to the cooking liquid we removed from the baking tray. This is pure liquid gold. Honestly, if this was the end of the recipe and all I did was use this liquid as a dipping sauce for some crusty bread, I wouldn't complain at all. But since I promised you guys short ribs, let's go ahead and use this liquid gold to put together a quick sauce to add back on top of our ribs once they're finished. Start by fishing out the pieces of garlic from the liquid. We need to separate the roasted garlic flesh from the skins, and the easiest way I found to do that is just using a paring knife. Hold the garlic skin on one end, and then use your paring knife to squeeze out the garlic inside. Once you've harvested all of this, return it to your small bowl and discard the skins. Now back to the cooking liquid. You'll notice that the cooking liquid separates out into two layers. The layer on top is fat, while the layer underneath is water. I want to separate these two parts so I can cook them separately. To do this, I'm using a gravy separator, which does just that. Just begin by adding all of the liquid into the separator, and then use it to dispense the water from the bottom of the container until the only thing remaining is the oil. Once you've done that, you're ready to make your sauce. Start by adding all of the oil to a pan on high heat. Once it's hot, go ahead and add 1 teaspoon of flour and cook the flour, stirring constantly until it begins to brown. Once your flour begins to brown, add in the roasted garlic pieces and cook briefly, using your spatula to squish the garlic into small pieces. Once your garlic has started to brown, pull it off the heat. You don't want to burn your garlic at this stage, so be very careful. Once that's had a second to cool down, add the rest of the cooking liquid to your pan and cook until it begins to thicken. Once thickened, it's ready and you can set it aside to cool. Now back to our ribs. I like to add a little extra sear to my ribs before serving, so once the 45 minutes are up, turn your oven on to broil and broil your ribs for 1 to 2 minutes. Make sure to watch your ribs closely. Every oven is different and you don't want to burn your ribs. Once broiled, your ribs are ready to go. I always associate short ribs with fine dining, So I decided to fancy up our plating and added a little bit of rice and cilantro oil to the plate before adding the beef and topping it with our delicious roasted garlic sauce.
Alright, there we go. Our ribs are ready. It's been smelling like garlic and ribs for the last like 2 hours here, so I'm starving and ready to get into this. Oh yeah. Oh. It's so tender. Just kind of falls apart on you. It's got that great garlic taste. I served it with a little rice to be a little fancy, but probably won't touch the rice because I got a bunch of ribs left. Yeah, guys, this is a great dish. Like I said, it's a great dish to make a little fancy if you're kind of going for something a little, you know, gourmet, say you. Plates very well. They tend to be a little small since they shrink as they're cooking, so you can get away with the size since it's gourmet. But always feel good to just grab a bone and chow down. Also, I don't even know what to call this. It's not really a gravy because it's not thick of it. It's much more like an au jus, which is just like the cooking liquids, but it's, you know, it's been thickened a little bit with some flour, so call it what you want. It's great on top. It's also great with, like, I really just want to get some pan de agua and like go at it because it's just so rich. It's so delicious. All the garlic and the beef flavored together. I hope you guys liked the video. You should really try this recipe when you get some time. It's awesome. I hope you liked the video like I was saying. If you did, you should also like, you should subscribe, you should come back next week and see us for another video, and let your friends know. Tell them to come join the party. So until then, we'll see you guys next week.